Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 134. I'm your host, Perrysburg resident Kim Newlove. The Perrysburg Podcast is a resource for Perrysburg residents. We talk about what's in Perrysburg and why people like to live here. Our website is perrysburgpodcast.com. Today, we're talking about a big local event with an even bigger heart, Acoustics for Autism. It's a free all-day community concert in Uptown Maumee, and it brings together music, families, and support for individuals with autism across northwestern Ohio. There are no tickets required. You just show up and have a good time. And the event has grown into one of the largest music fundraisers in our region. Since the concert is in Maumee, well, you might be wondering, why am I talking about a concert in Maumee on the Perrysburg podcast? Well, it's because Perrysburg's part of the story too. Some of the musicians have Perrysburg ties, like the Justin Marchand Band and Leadfoot Granny. And families from Perrysburg have both supported Acoustics for Autism and benefited from it over the years. Acoustics for Autism benefits Project I Am. It's a local nonprofit that provides scholarships to help families pay for therapy, equipment, and services that are not covered by insurance. The goal is simple: help families move forward faster and give them more options when navigating autism support. If you've ever wondered what the event is like, how it works, or like me, struggled to figure out the parking situation, you're going to enjoy this conversation. I interviewed Scott Hayes, one of the volunteers behind the event. He talks about the music, sensory friendly spaces, tents, shuttles, sponsors, silent auction items, raffles, other donation opportunities, and all the ways that you can get involved. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Scott Hayes. Hi, Scott. Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Now, are you a Perrysburg resident by any chance?
No, and never have been. It's one of the few places I haven't lived around here. I grew up in Findlay, Ohio, and have lived mostly in Toledo.
All right. Well, we're just that town across the bridge from Maumee. And I understand that we're going to be talking about Acoustics for Autism today. How'd you get involved with that and what's your role?
My role is to promote the event and to try to find sponsors, try to find people to help us pay for the hard expenses that we can't get away from. So it's a free event, happens once a year, and we try to raise as much money as we can to endow a scholarship fund. With that, we pay directly to providers of services or items that would help a family struggling with ASD, autism spectrum disorder.
Okay. Now, as I was doing my research for this interview, I came across a lot of really happy YouTube videos where there were news channels interviewing you, or there was just straight up content you were pushing out on your YouTube channel. And it's a giant concert, as far as I can tell. I have never been to it, and I have a child with autism. He's 22. And every time we try to go to it, we don't understand the parking situation. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But I definitely want to talk about that so that current or future Perrysburg residents listening to this can come on up and enjoy the event.
Sure.
So is that about accurate? It is a rock concert?
Yeah, Acoustics for Autism, I think it's in the name. It was founded by my wife, Nicole Corey. She had a friend that had a credit card dedicated to exploring treatment options for their son. And they were, hardworking family with resources and still ran up just an incredible amount of credit card debt because they were trying to do anything that might help their child. And a lot of these options that were presented to them are not covered by insurance. And so Nicole saw this and decided that she wanted to do something to help. And being a musician herself and knowing musicians, she thought it would be maybe a one-off concert in 2008. And on that day, they collected a lot more money than they expected. It was an all-day event at the Village Idiot, which is in downtown Maumee. And they started a charity with what they earned that day. And then it's just kind of grown organically year over year since then. So this will be our 19th edition this year on March 1st, and it goes all day. As you mentioned, it's in Maumee. It literally takes over the whole of downtown or uptown rather, Maumee. Kind of the nucleus of the event has always been the Village Idiot, Buster Brown's, the Elks, but it's grown out from that as well. If you think of the borders being Wayne Street and Dudley and Conant, back behind those businesses, behind the Elks, behind the Village Idiot, is a large complex of tents where we have stages. And musicians perform all day long on 10 different stages this year, and we raise money any way we can to fund our scholarship account.
Awesome. So the event is called Acoustics for Autism, and then it's funding scholarships through Project I Am. Is that correct?
Correct. Excellent. Yes. The charity is called Project I Am. That's the 501c3, and the event is Acoustics for Autism. Once a year. It's always the first Sunday in March.
Okay, I'm not trying to jinx you, but this is a rain or shine event, correct?
Correct. Yep. We've kind of weatherproofed it, I think, to the best of our ability. Once you get to the event, you can pretty much stay indoors if you'd like to, because the tents are really now connected to the buildings or very close to the buildings, and the tents are all heated. So we've had every kind of weather. We've had blizzards, we've had rainstorms, we've had everything in between, and that won't slow us down.
As soon as you said tent, I started thinking about Oktoberfest or the Spring Festival in Stuttgart, Germany, where they have tents and there's beer and there's music, of course. So this is kind of like mommy's version of that, I think.
Yeah, you could say that. There'll be 3 areas that are a little bit different. They're kids focused areas. One's on Wayne Street. That's a little bit feels more like you're in the event. There'll be a large tent on Wayne Street. The music will be softer. There'll be activities directed by tenured TPS teachers on this large stage. There's actually a little kind of VIP area where the kids are the VIPs, and there's a little red carpet. And then there is the building that sits at the corner of Wayne and Conant Street. There'll be activities in there. It's kind of a decompression area. It's quieter. There'll be coloring, there'll be fidget devices. It'll allow for a quieter family experience if you don't want to be around the amplified music. And then this year we're also working with the Mommy Indoor Theater, and that's completely separate from the main part of the event. It'll really feel like you're away, but there'll be music. In fact, our good friend Caden will be, who is his learned music therapy, will be giving a demonstration. He works with kids on the spectrum through music therapy. That's his day job. Plays in another band called Distant Cousins as well that will be performing, but he'll be doing that in the Mommy indoor theaters, and there'll be a little stage there for quieter music. And there's also going to be the movie, I believe it's the movie Trolls playing simultaneously, and activities as well in the Mommy Indoor Theater. So people that would like to participate but are concerned about the sensory excitation, that might be a good option for them.
Okay. And you said there's many stages. You said 10, is that right?
Correct.
10 stages and multiple different bands playing at the same time, right?
Yep. It started at 11:30ish and goes until 2 a.m.
Wow. And is it well lit and all that? I've not been to it, certainly not at night.
Yeah, it is. I'd argue it's more well lit than being, going out to dinner in downtown Mom or uptown Mommy on any given night because of all of the tents and the different areas that'll have lighting and additional lighting.
10 stages, how many bands?
107 musical acts. Pretty much anyone that plays out professionally in this area will be playing. There's a list. We have a whole poster printed online. If you go to acousticsforautism.com, pretty much anything that you want to learn about the event is there. Yeah, there's 107. We got them all on the poster, which was that's not an easy thing to do, but we did it. And so, yeah, we're excited. I'll say this about Northwest Ohio. There's definitely a philanthropic spirit, I think, here, just naturally. And the musicians really do like to help out. And so we have very talented musicians. And you mentioned you saw it seemed very happy when you looked at the old YouTube videos. That's a day when a lot of these musicians get to hear their friends play that ordinarily wouldn't because they're all working on the same nights a week. You know, the venues that have music typically have them certain nights of the week, and everyone else is playing. And so this is a one day of the year where they can go see what everyone else is up to and maybe jump on stage or compliment each other in some way.
That all seems like such a positive vibe. Yeah, everybody supporting each other, rising tides lift all boats, everybody's donating their time, right, to raise scholarship money.
Yeah, it's in fact our whole organization is 100% volunteers. We do not have an office. We kind of work it out of our house, which right now is hard to walk through because of all the silent auction items that we're packaging together to present in baskets. That would be something someone would want to bid on. And just some of the other stuff that we need for the event is all getting sorted out and ready to go. But yeah, no one takes a salary. Everything we make goes into either paying for the event, the hard costs baked into pulling off an event, or in directly into the scholarship fund, and that's it.
Well, that's very generous. Congratulations on 18 years of successful Acoustics for Autism events, and I hope that the 19th one goes really well. Now, as this is a podcast for Perrysburg residents, I want to make sure that Perrysburg residents know how to get there and where to park. We all know to get over the bridge, right? But I personally have experienced problems finding parking and had to turn around and go back to Perrysburg. I honestly did not plan my trip to Acoustics for Autism. So this year, I'm going to do better. I'm actually going to go for the first time. Where do I park if there's no street parking?
Yeah, people filter it all around. People do tend to find that those streets are longer than I ever realized. So people do park on those streets on both sides of Conant. So all throughout there, people park. We still have more people parking than taking shuttles, believe it or not. We do offer a shuttle service. So you can, for a $5 round trip ticket, we have shuttles working all day long in the parking lot of the old Anderson's General Store on Illinois. So if you can't go straight down Conant, so for Perrysburg residents, you can get around it at the first right hand you can take. You can make a big square and get around it and get back on Conant Street and go to Illinois. And that's like the overflow lot, I would call it. There's plenty of parking there. That's a very big parking lot, and they're making constant trips back and forth. So that'll be one area. There is a restaurant on Heather Downs on the Toledo side that at Leroy and Margaret's. If you spend $10 there, get a sandwich, get a Bloody Mary, whatever you want to do. As long as you spend $10, they'll take you there for free. And then if you parked at the casino has a shuttle that'll be working all day that will take you back and forth from the event. So depending on where you live in Perrysburg, it might be just more convenient to hop on 75 and go to the casino.
I did not know about the casino. I had talked to your wife, and she had told me about the Andersons. I didn't know about the restaurant, so that's three options. Those are good options.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for talking about that. I think I'm probably going to park at the old Andersons store and then catch the shuttle. $5 is not too much to ask. Not at all.
yeah. And that gets you a round trip. You'll get a little wristband.
Okay. Well, I understand that I'll see tents. There will be beverages. Will there be food for purchase as well?
Yes, we have on Dudley Street and also on Conant Street. There'll be vendors selling all kinds of different items and food vendors. And we have quite the variety. Anything that you could possibly conceive of will be there. Yeah, a lemonade stand to roast beef to sandwiches to hamburgers, ice cream, you name it. It'll all be there.
Okay.
I don't know how many we've got signed up this year, but it pretty much takes up all of Dudley Street and that area from Conant in Dudley in a little bit, but also down Conant Street, almost to the Maumee Indoor.
I'm picturing food trucks. Is that kind of what we're talking
Yes,
about?
that's that. Yes, exactly. Yep,
Okay.
vendors or little tables where there's folks that will sell all kinds of different goodies that you would see at a typical street fair, arts and crafts, so those types of things, T-shirts. Those will be available. We'll have official merchandise too. That's another way people can help the cause. Of course, we make money off the adult beverages that are for sale in the big tents, and that's where a lot of the people go in to see the music. But we also have merchandise that is mapped out on the map on site as well, where you could get a T-shirt or a hooded sweatshirt, other items for sale that are branded with the event, and that does help us as well.
Okay. Do you guys happen to sell camp chairs? Because it sounds like there's so much to do all day long. I would want some place to sit. So, do
I
you
don't
sell
know if
chairs?
that's I don't know if we have that in the merch list or not, but I'll offer it up.
Okay. But do people actually bring camp chairs? I mean, I would.
That is possible. I know when we have good weather, that people love to be on Conant Street and in front of that stage. And I think some of those videos that you see with the drone footage, it's just amazing how many people are gathered in Uptown Maumee. Yeah, and I'm willing to bet that some of them have camp chairs.
Okay. But usually people stand. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they'll stand, or if they go inside one of the brick and mortar venues like the Elks or the Village Idiot, the Village Idiot, this is another way you can, if they're not already gone, the Village Idiot they move out all of their tables and chairs because it's so packed on that day. But they have three that are built into the structure of the building, three tables that they auction off for each artist. So if you want a guaranteed spot and your favorite artist is playing in the Village Idiot, you could do that. Buster Brown's is another area that has seating as well.
Okay. So you can buy a good seat. Is that kind of what you're saying? They auction off a table, but you don't take the table home, right? You just get to sit at the table?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's kind of fixed into the architecture there.
Okay.
It's they're cocktail tables, I guess, but they're rectangular. They're big. They sit at least six people per, and they're right in the front in a nice little cubby right inside the Village Idiot. When you walk in, it's to the right.
I'll have to check that out next time I'm in. I never
Yeah,
noticed it was permanently fixed in there. All
yeah.
right. Cool. As this is an event to raise funds for a scholarship, tell me, how are you getting money for this scholarship? What are the different things going on where we can donate our money to this?
You can sponsor the event. I think we do a good job of promoting the businesses that do sponsor us. We have room for, I think, a couple more event sponsors. Those are, you get your logos on everything. We talk about it every time we go on TV. Right now, we have our event sponsors are Trident. That's a group that does puts on big events all over the country and the world. Actually, it's beyond just the country. So if you've got like an event, a convention, or something like that, or just a company meeting, they pull off all the details to make that event special. It's called Trident. Clearview Tinting has been with us as an event sponsor. They do really cool things with windows. So they offer films that go on glass that can either provide marketing, logos, those types of things, or it can have thermal effects. It can heat a space with light coming in the winter, or cool a space with light coming in the summer. They do some real unique things. And then Raymond Foster James is a financial planning business right in Perrysburg, is a third event sponsor, and then we have a lot of other sponsors that are stage sponsors, and depending on the size of the stage, we have other types of website sponsors. So there's all different kinds of levels of sponsorship that you can purchase. You can do it online. We make it pretty easy. And certainly, the merchandise is a way that we make money. We have people walking around all day with karma buckets. So, as it is a free event, we don't want anyone forced to pay. But if you want to contribute to the cause, there'll be plenty of people walking around with karma buckets where you can just donate. We do some things where we have local celebrities during one song on any one of the stages. They'll do a cash grab, and we have a business usually that'll sponsor and match whatever we raise during that one song. That's a very popular way to and a fun way to raise some money. I had mentioned anything you buy in the tents, the alcohol we purchase ahead of time, and we make a little bit of money off of that. And then the silent auction is the last thing I wanted to talk about. We have all kinds of items. They're putting them all together now. Sports memorabilia, there are vacation packages that might not be used for someone that has a timeshare. And we have all kinds of other items, gift cards that are available. One of the fun parts of the day every year is we do it twice during the day of the event, is kind of the miscellaneous catch-all. So if we don't find a package for an item, and it's a lot of the gift cards we get at the last minute, other products we might get that we weren't able to find a good match to put in something to be bid on. We have these large vaults, we call them, and you can purchase a key. Only one key will unlock the vault. And so we do that. I don't remember what time of day, but we do it twice a day. It'll be advertised the day of the event. You can buy a key to the vault, and there's literally thousands of dollars worth of cool things in each one of these vaults. They're packed. They're probably a 4 by 3.5 foot box. You can see what's inside, but it's so packed. I mean, there's all kinds of surprises. So we've come up with some creative ways to make it easy for you to donate. And on the day you can text. There'll be signs up everywhere where you can text to donate through Venmo or whatever pay app you have.
Okay, and how can somebody access those silent auction items?
Yeah, they'll be on site or online, excuse me, the week of the event, starting the 23rd of February, just a couple weeks away. You'll be able to take a sneak peek, I think, in the days leading up to that as we assemble some of the items. So if you go to the website and you just click on a silent auction, it'll have information on when it goes live, and you might be able to get a sneak peek even in the days leading up before the 23rd. But there'll be buy it now prices for most, if not all, the items. And on the Saturday before the event, a lot of the volunteers come and help us set up. We're camped out there all day anyway. We have the items, if you've bought it now, available that you can pick them up. We bring them all to the kind of the central area there where the big beer tent is. On the day of the event, there's a little bit of a digital delay, I think. If you're actively bidding on something and you're not there, the safer bet, if you're really not willing to pay the buy it now price, or let's say there's a bid going on that's exceeded it, you might want to be there in person for to get that last bid in. I don't know that that's ever happened, that there's been anything that competitive, but I guess it could. And I believe that ends at 5:30 on the day of the event. The auction ends.
Okay, thanks for all the details about the silent auction. How about raffles? I know 50-50 raffles are popular. Do you do that too?
Yes, we have people walking around. There'll be a table that has information about the raffles, and then we have people. Haley and her group, she kind of manages that for us. We'll walk around and people will can purchase a 50-50 ticket. They do it different frequencies based on each venue, but we'll have a central station that's very visible near the merch area, the main merch area. We'll have some satellite merch areas as well, but the main merchandise area, there's a hub of activity there and information. It's also kind of the volunteer check-in is in that area as well. So if you're coming to volunteer, you come a little before your shift and you can figure out exactly where you're going to be. There'll be someone there to help you.
Sounds good. And when you have somebody win the 50-50, have they ever said, "I'm gonna donate everything back to Project I Am"?
These are all great questions I'd like to know the answer to because on the day of the event, I'm on the big stage. I play in three of the bands that'll be on the beer garden stage, but I'm also the MC and the stage manager, making sure that people get on and off the stage. When you have that many bands, it's very important to run a tight ship and make sure that when the band is scheduled to go on, they go on at that exact time and they get done at that exact time, so we have time to change things over. So I'm stuck back there, and sometimes I can't get away even for a few minutes.
Okay, I'm trying to plant the seed. So if any Perrysburg residents go on over to Acoustics for Autism and they win the 50-50 raffle, you do have the opportunity to donate everything back to Project I Am.
Yes, we'll take it.
Yeah. I am part of a euchre tournament that benefits the Golden Retriever Rescue Resource, and I won the 50-50 last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we donated almost everything back to them, and afterwards I was thinking, "You know what? I should have just donated everything." But you have to do what your conscience tells you to, and next time if I win it, I'm gonna donate everything back to it because it's a fundraiser.
I would say those 50/50s that I have witnessed, um, I would say more times than not, they're donating back at least a portion of it. They might keep, $100 or $50, but the rest of it they'll give back. So I think we definitely come out ahead.
Yeah. Any other raffles that happen there? Anything like you have gift baskets that you buy tickets for and put a ticket in a cup or something like that? Anything like that?
No, the silent auction would be that I'm not aware of any other items that we're raffling off. We've had some large items that we raffle off separately apart from the silent auction, but I believe it's all in the silent auction now. And there'll be a lot of stuff there.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be my first time there. I can't wait to see all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having you.
Now, if anybody wants to be a sponsor or donate an item, is there a date on the calendar by which you would like to have all the sponsors sign up and all the donors hand over their items?
The donated items we go live that the 23rd. The sooner the better. When we get stuff at the last minute after we've already had the team package everything and figure out what goes best with what to name the gift, it makes it harder for us to get it thoughtfully placed somewhere. So sometimes it'll end up in the vault, which is great too. But the sooner the better. I would say that the week leading up to the event, so like the February 20th would be a good date to keep in mind that if you really want to make a donation that is promotable in the form of a silent auction, get it to us so we can figure out a way to get it exposed and promote your business while we're doing that. Event sponsors, again, same thing. We'd like to have them in by February. Today is actually the day that we're asking for everything to be in because the radio buys go out later in the week and any sponsors that we can include in that's just more marketing capital for our partners that help us out. But we'll always make you part of the event. There are just some deadlines with printing posters, that type of thing. There's posters already up promoting the event, and that was based on the sponsors we had several weeks ago. And it's just some people need more time to print things, and there's a lot of work that goes into getting the graphics right and all of that. So the sooner the better would be my short answer.
As we record this, it is February 3rd, and the event is coming up on Sunday, March 1st. So I can see how there's a lot that happens between today and then.
Yeah. Like I said, we've got a core group of people. We guys that do, Kenny and Brian do site logistics and work on permits. We have Bruce handling all the works with the beer vendors. Nancy does the food trucks. I mentioned Haley, Alicia with merch. We just got people that are team leaders. Jenny and Kim help us out with the kids areas. Kate Schwartz does the building, sensory friendly building. So we've just got a network of people that are really team champions that they build their little systems and their crews together, and then it really takes a village to pull it off.
Right. I'm glad you gave some shout outs. It's nice to hear, some of the names of the people who are doing all the things in the background. Do you still need volunteers?
Yeah, we'll always use volunteers. I was just looking at a stat that says we have had over these 18 years, we've had 5,000 volunteers. And I saw another stat that was surprising to me. Last year, we helped 400 families. We've distributed over $1 million in scholarship money directly to pay for services. So volunteers, yes. The what's available is easy to find online. You can go and sign up there. We're always looking for people to help us clean up the event. I think we have plenty of people that want to help serve beer, and not enough people that want to come in, as we're closing down the tent in the evening and help clean up. We can always use help there, um, because we have to turn everything over to the city. So we pretty much stay up all night cleaning it up, and we do a lessons learned that next morning and take notes so we can make the event more efficient for the next year. And I'll tell you this, the city of Maumee has been a great partner to have. They've worked hard to make sure the event goes off as smooth as it possibly can, and that's why I don't see us moving it from Maumee, even as we grow.
Well, that's all right. I'm hoping that more Perrysburg residents will check it out this year here in 2026. I wish you all the best with it. And for any families listening to this who are hearing about these scholarships available and they have an individual with autism in their family, how can they get help from Project I Am?
Again, if you go to the website and you can apply for a scholarship right online, there is, we ask that you interface with a professional that says this would be good, that helps in us award the scholarships. That's one of the criteria the board looks for. Does a medical professional or someone that specializes in ASD think this is something that may help? And send us that scholarship application. And in most cases, we'll fund it.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah,
When my son was younger, before we got our Medicaid waiver, it it was kind of scary, the bills that we dealt with, 30 to $50,000 for the OT, the speech, the
yeah.
ABA, the special preschool, just all
The
the
summer
things.
camps, all of that stuff adds up.
Yes. And it's not always something the school is willing or able to provide, even though we were in Perrysburg schools.
Yeah, which is some people will move there for that very reason. And that's why we exist, though. That's why we're here. We exist solely to make money and distribute that money directly to the service provider.
Well, thank you for everything that you're doing. It sounds like a great event. I can't wait to go to it this year. I know where to park now. I have no excuse.
Well, I'll be looking for you.
Awesome. Very good. And at this time, I'd like to give you an open mic moment. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
On behalf of our group, there's a lot of people that work really hard to pull this off. It's never perfect, but we try really hard to make it as perfect as it can be, and we do take suggestions best we can. And so I would ask that if people could be patient with us, realize that it's a volunteer organization. We'll make it the best event that we can. We are very passionate about the cause. We've seen the kids year after year. A lot of the volunteers that we work closely with are families that we've helped. And so we've watched the kids grow up, and we've watched tangible differences in the quality of life by some of the treatments that have been explored or performed as a result of a scholarship. We're very, very, very passionate and happy to help out. And it all stays local. This is a Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan centric event, and the proceeds stick in the area as well.
That's good to hear. Yeah, think local first. I like helping local people, and that's why I made a local podcast.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, Scott Hayes, thank you very much for coming to the Perrysburg podcast to talk about acoustics for autism. Anything else as we wrap this up?
No, I just appreciate the time. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks again to Scott Hayes for joining me on the Perrysburg podcast and for sharing the story behind Acoustics for Autism and Project I Am. If you're listening in Perrysburg or anywhere nearby, consider heading over to Uptown Maumee on Sunday, March 1st, 2026. Acoustics for Autism is a fun, free community event, and every donation, purchase, and volunteer hour helps support local families affected by autism. If you're looking for a way to get involved, they're looking for volunteers. As you heard Scott say, they need cleanup volunteers at the end of the night, and you can sign up on acousticsforautism.com. Thank you so much for listening to the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 134. You can find the show notes on our website, which is perrysburgpodcast.com. In the show notes for episode 134, you will find links to Acoustics for Autism. I have both the website and the Facebook page. I've got a list of their sponsors and a list of those shuttle locations, including the addresses. If you'd like to get email notifications each time a new episode of the Perrysburg Podcast comes out, sign up for our newsletter on perrysburgpodcast.com/newsletter. You can also subscribe to or follow the Perrysburg Podcast on your favorite podcast player or on YouTube so you never miss an episode. Share this episode with your friends and neighbors, especially those who love music and concerts. It's going to be a good one. Acoustics for Autism, March 1st, 2026. Thanks for listening today. I'll talk to you next Friday.